Release the hounds. Arr, arr, arr. Do you know what's even more embarrassing about that?
You have to watch it again when you...
Well, yeah, I have to watch it again, but also there are people outside the studio right now that probably heard that.
Yeah.
And thought, what kind of podcast are we running in this joint? Because that was
Well, they do know.
Yeah, they do, but now they're probably questioning it. They're like, why is she making those noises that made me feel physically unwell? And now you say I'm really scared to actually watch what that looks like. Watch what that looks like.
Yeah. Can't blame you.
Oh, I've just given myself and everyone else on the internet the ick, so you're welcome.
Your digital footprint is really something.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be the butt of everyone's jokes for the foreseeable. But you know what?
We move.
Exactly, we move, we survive, we thrive. Though, are we thriving today? That's the real question. What do you think? Yay or nay?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, if you didn't gather from my howling, we are talking Furybound. So welcome back to the Literary Just Told You book club. As I mentioned, we read Furybound by Sable Sorensen this month. It was a new release in, was it May?
Yes.
May, yeah. So we got our claws in after
going for it.
After reading Diebound last year, and we really liked Diebound from last year. So,
and if you want to hear how much we liked it,
go listen to that. Go listen to that. And if you haven't read Furybound and you're planning to, maybe don't listen to this episode because we are about to spoil a whole last series.
Yes.
So make sure you go back and read it before continuing. But please do come back because we love having you here. So, funnily enough, I do want to say this, even though I'm not taking credit for this, because ChatGPT came up with this when I was making my notes for today's episode. So I just thought I'd share with the group because ChatGPT has really developed a personality of her own, and this really made me laugh. She said, have you ever read a 600-page fantasy sequel where somehow everything happens and nothing happens at the same time? Welcome to Furybound.
I wanted to say, yeah, The Wings That Bind, which is not a book club episode we did, but...
Yeah, there's probably quite a few out there, but what would you say? Is that accurate? Is she right?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's just jump straight in. Let's go. I really liked when in the last episode we did School Was in Session, and I find that really helpful. So I was hoping this could be like a recurring segment that we do because it was also kind of entertaining, and maybe we need to get a whiteboard in here or something and get like a whole thing. But before we go into our thoughts, feelings, opinions about how everything unfolded in Furybound, please can we clock into school and can you recap like what happened in Diebound, what was going on, where did we end, like what was being set up for the very start of Furybound, just so we can, you know, set the scene, get into the zone.
Sure.
Don't sound too excited.
Okay. I will try to contain myself. So, Diebound. We have a main character called Meryn Cooper. She is one of the poor... There was lots of weird sounds with my mouth that brought nothing to the conversation. She is... Who is she really? How would you say it? A peasant? That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
I mean, essentially, she's like a commoner.
Yeah, she's a
commoner.
That's a very nice word for a peasant. She is a commoner. She is a street fighter. But, yeah, class-wise, she is very, very low in the kingdom of Nocturna. And she is, in very Katniss Everdeen fashion, the only person who takes care of her family. She also has a younger sister. Her dad is dead. He died at war. Her mom is struggling mentally. She has lots of...
she's a little bit crazy.
She is crazy. She sees things that don't exist, and then she snaps and is very aggressive, etc. In all of that, Meryn's light of her life is her sister, but also Lee, who is a soldier.
Sorry.
And works in the castle as a guard, I believe. Long story short, their kingdom Nocturna is at war with Astrona, which is kingdom of siphons, which basically vampires. And one of the threats is the fact that siphons have like another group living within called Nabbes, and they nab kids to feed from them. And this is like basically a lot of terror in the neighborhood. Yeah. And unfortunately, Meryn's sister gets nabbed by Nabbes, and she comes with an idea to join the army because that's the only way to go to Astrona, where the Nabbes took her sister, and save her. I'm a little bit hazy because she wanted to join the army, but I don't remember if there was like how exactly she managed to not join the army exactly, because there is just like a normal army, this army of bonded who are this obviously just like in Fourth Wing, the elite class soldiers who have those dire wolves that they are bonded to. She doesn't care about that. She doesn't care about prestige, about being bonded. She just wants to get out there. Somehow, exactly, this is what I mean. I don't remember exactly how it happens, but she gets tangled in the trials to become bonded. And she becomes bonded with the only white wolf called Anassa. Then throughout the book, without going into too much detail, there she obviously goes through all the trials. She tries to figure out her relationship with Anassa. But on top of that, turns out that Lee is actually not a castle guard. He's a fucking prince.
Shock, horror, ladies and gentlemen.
And his name is Killian.
What did we think, just quickly, what did we think of Killian?
I literally just thought about it. Oh, yeah, it's quite telling, so...
It's quite on the nose, if you will.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
While she's in the castle, Meryn has, because bonded live in like a part of the castle during the trials, while she lives there, she gets lots of different visions, and she starts thinking that she's going crazy like her mum. Her relationship with Killian, despite the initial betrayal, flourishes, and eventually she agrees to join his plan to kill his father, who is currently the king, and take over the country with him. However, as you might think, this not go as according to plan, because as soon as she kills the king, Killian is like, what have you done? I've never told you to do that. You're going crazy like your mother.
Gaslighting man.
Yes.
We don't like those around here.
And again, throughout, I don't remember exactly the order of things and how exactly this came about. I think it was before she killed the king, definitely. But I don't know how information she had at the time. Meryn actually finds her sister in the
dungeon,
thank you,
Yuck.
Of the castle with other children. So it turns out that the king is actually a siphon in disguise, that throughout the generation they have been carrying their main villain called Alistair, and Alistair was kind of like body jumping for all the generations moving forward. And Meryn is actually a descendant of the rightful queen, Kiara Stormfrost, and also turns out that Killian was in on all of this.
Mm-hmm. Gaslighting man. We don't like that. So he betrayed her.
Yeah, so we finished book 1 with... Oh, I forgot about...
You forgot about Stark,
yes.
But we can... kind of a main character point that we've just missed there. But that's okay. You can go back.
Yeah, so... The end of book 1. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, just listen to the other episode, you will know a little bit more. But end of book 1, this is the situation. Killian betrayed Meryn. He put some weird bracelet on her that feeds off her power. Her sister Sailor, whatever you say,
Sailor, yeah.
Sailor.
That's how I'd say it.
Okay. She is found in the castle dungeon, taken by Killian, and we're gonna come back to what happens with her later. Stark, who was just this broody, weird character that just kept giving Meryn tattoos and licking her. Who there was like a step for enemies to lovers. There was lots of, as you usually do in those books, looks across the arena and grumbles and brooding and stuff. It turns out that he's the guardian of her, descendant of guardians of her royal line. Shock. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, the king is dead. She knows she's the queen now. And in the midst of all of that, just to really drive it home, Killian changes Sailor, so the sister, into Siphon.
Dun dun dun. That was the biggest plot twist, I think, of the whole thing. So, essentially we're in chaos. Meryn is locked.
My head is in chaos. I don't think I did a good job, to be honest, because it's been a while.
It's all right. We've not been in school for a while, but to kind of sum up where we start book 2, Meryn is locked in the dungeon. isn't she? She's
No.
like locked away, I swear.
No.
Or does
No.
she break out?
No, he just runs away.
Yeah, but she was like in a cell because he arrested her after she killed
Yeah,
the king.
that's already happened in the
Oh,
first
okay.
book.
Anyway, Sailor's a siphon. Stark has like revealed himself to be her ally,
Yeah.
and Killian has fucked off somewhere. So now what? Meryn basically decides, I'm queen now. Let's do this.
Yeah, she found her fancy crown and everything.
So let's start with Meryn then as the main character, where she starts off. How are we feeling about her in Furybound? How do we feel about her character arc, kind of coming into being a queen? How do we feel about that?
Well, it doesn't feel earned, does it? Because it kind of falls into her lap, and even throughout the Direbound, she obviously because of wolves they have packs, and the packs have certain hierarchy, and she also becomes alpha very quickly, and it's just all a bit weird because again, being bonded is kind of like a legacy. Usually, children of bonded become bonded and sign up for the trial. So she just has very little knowledge about anything. Even when she goes through trials in Direbound, she has no clue, basically. So this all feels a bit strange, to say the least.
How did you feel about her giving up her status as the pack alpha?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, what is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not trying to be everything. You can't be everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree. Yeah,
I think to delegate.
Yeah, she wasn't very good at that.
No, she wasn't either.
So you don't think that? I agree with you that I don't think that her character arc was earned, but I also agree that that kind of stems from what happened in book 1. But I was kind of hoping for maybe a little bit more of like growth from her in book 2 in like becoming a leader, but she's just so reluctant, but not in a way that's good. Like, for example, when we were talking about rebellion in our last episode, we were talking about that kind of reluctant symbol. Yeah. I think there's a very fine line between being a reluctant symbol and still being a good like leader, and you're literally just being annoying at this point. Like, you know, she was kind of just being dragged along the whole time, which kind of felt frustrating because she's so powerful, and it's like at some point you just need to embrace and just be a leader. But she just felt a little bit like...
Really? For me, she was just too big-headed for her.
In what sense?
She kind of took it on, but it was very... The best way I can describe it, it's that if she was a man, I would say that she should swing her dick around. Because she didn't really have any credentials apart from her blood to be a queen. And like, there was absolutely no... It's not modesty. It's not the word I'm looking for, and I couldn't fucking remember it yesterday. I was thinking about it for so long.
Humility? Does that work?
No. Just like... Well, not even... Like, there's no self-awareness even.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
That she... And it sometimes feels that she is very much... Well, we would have to go deeper into everything that happens later, but for me, it's just a lot of some weird projections and who she would want to be, but she actually is not this person. And yeah, she just tries to be a good leader, but she doesn't have... She's not actually not a queen, in my opinion. Like, she is more of a symbol.
Yes, yeah.
And for example, when she goes on about that people don't support her and all of that, I honestly don't see any reason why would they. There is no charisma, no some sort of representation, just there's nothing, no direction, and unfortunately people will see that, and I think she also projects it very well on the reader that she has no idea what she's doing. But at the same time, I don't think she probably cares, but there is not like an effort, in my opinion. Yeah. She kind of goes with the flow, and she is being put in certain positions that people tell her to go to, and then she acts the way she wants to act in these positions, but that doesn't mean it's the right way to act. Yeah, agreed. I feel like Sigrid and Stark are very much like puppet masters, and she's just kind of there. But she's kind of aware of it, but at the same time, not really. Yeah. I don't know how much of it is intentional, or how much of it is just poor execution, but... Yeah, so there's a very fine line between an effective reluctant symbol and just being so reluctant that you're actually just annoying. And I think what didn't help is that she obviously had this constant inner conflict with herself about trying to be what she believed was a right leader
and not hurting people, and she kept thinking about the previous king and how he ruled with fear, and I don't want to do that, and I'm going to do this, and blah, 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 blah. And at some point, it just gets annoying.
Yeah.
Because we're all grown-ups.
Yeah, I think she had a very childish idea of how the ruler should be.
Yeah. And I also just think that and we've talked about it before, but realistically, this is like an adult audience, and we are all aware enough to understand moral like complexity that she can kill people in this war and still be a good person. We don't need her to like justify herself to us as a reader, like outwardly. She doesn't need to tell us she feels bad for doing that. And do you know what I mean? Like that doesn't need to be spelled out for you to still like someone as a character. And I just think that constant, like, it just felt like whining to me, that she was like, oh no, I can't believe I've done this and I want to be better and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you don't need to take the moral high ground. Like, it's fine. We will still like you because you are still doing it for the greater good. Like, sometimes you do have to do things that, like, in desperate situations, you know?
No,
and I just think there was this, like, kind of desperation to trying to still make her seem likable, even though she had to make tough decisions, which I think made her a little bit annoying.
And I think for someone, so there was lots of people saying that, oh, she's so strong, and we went to the event with Sable Sorensen, so the two ladies who wrote the book, and they talked a lot about the feedback they got regarding Meryn, that she's so strong, and that, for example, they also included one line which I think Stark says to her at the end of Furybound, something about you are Meryn Sturmfrost, like no Sturmfrost,
I think, yeah.
And no man will ever tell you what to do. No man will ever, like, something around the man. But then for someone, I don't think it was a good representation of a strong female character, I'm afraid, because Meryn is so male-centric. She doesn't want to, the way she, like, the whole killing thing, she doesn't, it's obviously partially the thing that, oh, I'm a queen, I should be good now, and this is not what a good queen does, to kill people, and I don't want to be like Killian, but that's all what it revolves around. I don't want to be like Killian. I don't want to be like Killian. Then I want to destroy Killian and all of that. And then we have the ending of book 2 as well, where I'm just like, you're hurting this character so much.
Yeah. And, like, that's fine. But let's just, like, lean into the feminine rage, you know? I would have been much happier just letting her be in her feminine rage. Yeah, but definitely. I just think the constant, like, words versus actions going around in this circle every time, like, come on, go with the program. We're in a trilogy here. Like, we just need to accept things and move forward. But in this book, obviously, we get the second POV from Stark, who is now our ally. How did we feel about the introduction of his POV? Did that feel earned to you, or...?
No. I don't think we got enough of their interactions at the beginning either, in the first book. And, no, okay, now I think about it, there was lots of kind of things planted there, which were good. But I don't think those, like, saplings, like little plants.
Saplings,
I think. Yeah. Those saplings of information and interaction were enough to then jump into the point of view. And I just found it, I don't know. And also I think it's a little bit difficult because I don't think we had enough of him in book 1 to root for them either, Yeah. And even if we did, I think it's also very difficult to genuinely root for him when subconsciously he'll be in our mind set against Killian, and everyone is better than Killian, so automatically you will last more of a Stark that you would in a normal circumstance. Yeah, because you've got a contrast. Yeah. What would you say? Did it feel earned? No, I agree with you. I think for something that I would say is kind of marketed as like a slow burn and yearning, I think having his POV added in kind of interrupted that, because we jump straight into his head and we know exactly how he feels about her. But obviously we didn't know any of that in book 1, so it felt like a bit of a jump to me to, like, get those feelings straight away. And it felt for me that she needed some time to kind of mourn what she went through with Killian before she would be ready to open up to Stark. So that felt a bit quick for me. Over the span of, like, 2 books, I think
it's not quick, but I just think the execution made it feel quick in book 2, and particularly because you get his POV, because the minute you get the male POV, it is a slippery slope to like destroying some sort of...
Kills the suspense.
Yeah, yeah, because you think he's bad all through, well, you don't think, but because I mean, realistically, these fantasy books are all very similar, so you kind of know from the start he's going to be the love interest, but he's portrayed as like this bad guy in book 1, and then all of a sudden, literally like the lights just turned on and now he's an angel. Yeah. And we lost that like morally grey, broody vibe to him, and he's now like, yeah, that's just gone with his POV being introduced. But that being said, I am happy that he's the leading man, because obviously who doesn't like the dark broody warrior? But I just think maybe his POV could have been introduced later, or even, I don't even think we maybe even needed his POV in book 2, to be honest.
I liked it. I think it added, for me, it added to yearning. I wanted to know how he feels, but then I think it's because she was just so shit at explaining it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with you as well about the point that it just didn't feel earned in terms of her going through all of this with Killian. And again, it also just adds to my point that she was very male-centric, that male-centric, male-centered.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't speak English well, you are. But that she just flipped straight away.
Yeah.
And it was, she just said to herself, oh, I felt this attraction before. And quite frankly, when she has a lot on her plate, she has the whole country to run. She has her sister being a siphon, and she tries to turn her back. And a boy shouldn't be on your top priority list. You shouldn't be walking around and obsessing over this guy with this girl and what's going on between them. It just felt, I don't know, I'm just a bit disappointed in her. Yeah, to be honest.
How did you feel about the chemistry between them? Because obviously we have, granted, Killian was a very bad man in book 1. But I think as a couple they had quite good chemistry from the start. How do you feel that like the execution of her and Stark's chemistry holds up?
I think it was okay. Not very much to add.
Out of 10?
7 maybe.
7. Okay.
I think it also added to the appeal, everything that happened. So for me, his POV was a plus. I liked him. Yen, it was one of my pet peeves is when male characters say that they're not good enough for female characters. I hate that, and he was saying this all the time, and it was supported by absolutely nothing. It was just his projection of some sort, so that annoyed me. But I liked that his mom tried to get in there and force him to marry, and I think that added a bit of spicy dynamic, because then he even had more motivation to keep himself away from her. But for example, when they had those scenes of fighting, I was just a bit like, yeah, I know you're trying to show that they are kind of this power couple, but that doesn't work for me. What did you think?
It was okay. Like, it wasn't bad by any means, but it just wasn't like as sparky as I was hoping for it to be honest. I agree the plot point on Sigrid, that is her name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I agree that Sigrid trying to force him to marry her added a really good way for him to yearn for her, but not be with her without using that rubbish excuse of like, oh, you're too good for me. I really liked that, because that actually made sense to me as to why he would try and pull back, because he thinks Sigrid is really bad and he doesn't want her influence. So I thought that was really good, and that created a lot of tension and yearning from him, which I really, really liked. But that being said, I think the chemistry between, like, it could have been a bit better. But I also think that part of that is possibly because her character felt a little bit, I don't know, like unpolished. It's hard to feel chemistry between two characters when one of them is just like kind of all over the shop, because you don't really have as much like buy-in to her. So it means that the chemistry kind of falls a bit flat on her side, more so because she's just a bit all over the shop.
What would you change to make it better?
To be honest, I think if she had mourned Killian a bit more and was like pushing him away more for that reason. I think she jumped in too quick for me, was my problem. So I think if there was a bit more of like that, and also a bit more of her understanding his point of view, in the sense of like, as queen, you're on a very unstable throne. Like, you actually need to be very careful about your alliances and stuff, and being with your like bodyguard protector, that's not a good look, and that's not going to secure your throne. And I think if she cared more about securing the throne from like an actual strategic perspective rather than just like, I'm queen now, then that would have created more internal, like that would have created more tension and more yearning, because she would have had more internal conflict about, I want to be with him because I really like him, but like I have like another agenda also that's really important, and like protecting the throne and protecting her sister. And I think that would have created a way better like push and pull, because they're then both trying to do something that they think they should do for the sake of the country, but then still having that pull of like actually liking each other. I think that would have made me buy into it a bit more. But again, like it wasn't bad. It just wasn't like exactly what I was hoping for from the way it was teed up at the end of book 1, I think.
I kind of agree with you. So this is actually a good point, the last one, that I think it also would help the plot if she just focused a little bit more on her political situation, because then I think we would also buy in more into why he wants her. Yeah. Because realistically, we don't really know. We know that he kept looking at her and staring at her and like kind of, you know, it was all a bit weird, and tried to protect her, for example, from being king's plaything and all of that. But this is like, you can assume that it's just the duty that he has to her family. Yeah. But there is no like, you don't really know why he wants her. So yeah, I do agree. That's actually a good point.
On that though, whilst we have just been a bit neggy, what was your favourite moment like between them, or what's something that you really enjoyed and wish we had more of, but like that was actually really good?
I need to think about that. I don't really know. There's nothing that jumps out to me, to be honest. But if I had to pick one thing that I liked, it would be like the last spicy scene in the hot spring. That, I don't know, like I think it was, if any of them died in this battle, that would be a good way to go. Would be a good goodbye, in my opinion.
That was good. I liked that he was like a very good supporter of her, but not just from the sense of like the bodyguard thing, but just like really just believing in her a lot. I liked that. So how would you rank the spice then?
You know what? This was one of the worst ones I've read, I would say.
Scandal.
You know what I also didn't enjoy? This is I don't know, maybe kind of world building we could pin it to, but the fact that they kept jumping for each other's heads was just really weird to me.
Kept doing what, sorry?
Jumping in each other's head, like...
yes.
When there was this spicy scene on the ship, and she's like, oh, I can feel all of this as me and him. Yeah. I didn't really like that. So that was just a bit... But yeah, I think apart from the Blood Academy, but at least in Blood Academy, those scenes were quite short. These ones were so long, and I don't think they brought much, to be honest, to me. It's like... I never wanted to skip through spicy scene as much until like, apart from, I never felt like skipping spicy scene until this book, and the only book before was, I think, so the Academy book 8. But that was because it was just too much. Like they kept something was happening all the time with someone. So I was like, okay, like come on, especially because the stakes are high. I want to know what's gonna happen. That was just. But yeah, I didn't really like them. Sorry. I was saying to Becks, so maybe if anyone is mad at me about this, I'm sorry. But the scene that really put me off was the first scene when they are in Astrona. No, sorry, they are deciding to go to Astrona or not. And they meet with Ruby, and Ruby reveals that actually Meryn's dad is not dead. And then they come back to this clearing, and it's just them two. And when I imagine her, and this is again, it's gonna sound like such a slut shaming or something, but that's not the point. But when I think about her, just like splayed there with her legs behind her head, in this clearing after this really emotional moment with her dad, when the stakes are so high, and it's not even like a passionate moment where like they have to unite together. It's just I don't know. I was just like, it just gave me the ick a little bit. I don't like.
I have to agree that one did give me the ick a little bit, because I was like, what? Like, I'm sure in the right scenario that would work. But I agree. There was a moment when, like, you know, when you catch yourself and I'm like, wait, they did what now? That kind of happened to me in that. And yeah, that was a bit, but I think that ultimately as well just comes down to the fact that like the tension wasn't there. Like,
Yeah.
and I just think the design, the choreography, shall we say, the choreography of that scene doesn't reflect the emotion and like the conflict that was happening before. Like, I'm thinking, for example, what may have worked better was obviously she's like distraught and like angry and stuff. Like, if she was like lashing out at him and then they all of a sudden like had this like collision of whatever because she's lashing out at him because of what's happened with her dad. But it wasn't. It was so like carefully calculated.
Yeah,
and
it felt very orchestrated.
Yeah, which just like didn't match the vibe of like what had just happened and what was going on in her head. Like, it was just, and
if at least she kept like parts of her clothes on, I think that would be better. Like then you can see the tension, the passion that is just like they couldn't just wait. What this just felt, that was I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, this is my question, Sable Sorensen, please. Did they do it outside every time because of wolves or something?
You know what? Now, since you've said it, they did say that they, when we saw them, they said that they try and bring in like wolfy characteristics like into the human behavior. So that's obviously why they lick the tattoos as an example. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was kind of
by design,
intentional, that it was quite animalistic and outdoors and stuff.
Yeah, but then it wasn't really. You know what? I'm not gonna keep spinning in circles.
Let's not psychoanalyze. But anyway, moving on. So
how would you rate this spice?
Like, it was fine. It was fine. Like, whatever.
Most frustrating romantic moment for them?
There was nothing that, to be honest, they didn't really annoy me too much from like a romance point of view. Because I kind of understood why he was pushing her away. And I liked that she was like, you're the perfect fit for me. None of that annoyed me from like a scene point of view. I was just more like slightly disappointed by the lack of tension between them, as opposed to like one standout scene that really stuck with me.
Okay. I did, what frustrated me, apart from everything, was when they had this scene, this clearing, and then he just started speaking to her.
Yeah.
And then also that she didn't really call him out. She was kind of like, I guess I'm a shit lay. And I'm like, girl, there's like that really bigger problems right now. I can't with you. This literally did, like, she was like, I guess I'm a really bad lay. And I'm like, whoa.
Girl, you didn't do any laying.
No. Yeah.
Oh, she's silly. Anyway, so you mentioned obviously before the spicy scene, they go to Astriana, is it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Not that they decide to go there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that and all of the kind of the politics that happen in book 2, because the world obviously really expands from the arena and the trials and stuff. We start to get this whole broader world going on. What do you think about the kind of build up of politics and how that was done in book 2?
So again, the idea behind it all was great. I really enjoyed all the kind of plot twists.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say, I predicted something, because I didn't really think about it much. But I don't know, the whole thing that Astron actually wants to join and have an alliance with them. That was really good. I think it kind of gives you this inkling of hope as well.
Yes, yeah.
So when they are like in a really bad position, that's like a spray of sunshine through the stormy clouds, basically. So that was quite good. I enjoyed that. Then, okay, I'm not gonna complain. That was good. The whole plot twist with that was good. The fact that we also had some of like intrigues in the castle where she gets poisoned. She almost gets poisoned, and actually Isabel gets poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was really good, and that was quite realistic, because no matter how bad a previous ruler was, like, you will never actually have a very swift transition.
Yeah. So
I think that was really good. I was a little bit confused about the Phylax pack leaving. Didn't really, I saw the purpose. I just wasn't exactly sure why them in particular. That was a bit confusing to me, and I would like some clarity why this pack and but no, I think the politics were fine, and like where the direction it was going in. The execution we can talk later, but I think the general idea behind it was good. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it was a good expansion on what we know.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed how quickly we kind of got outside of the castle walls, because I think it would have got a bit old a bit quick had it not expanded out. And I do think it was good to have that death in there like quite quickly, just to really like mix things up a bit. Though I do agree with you on the Phylax, what are they called?
Yeah.
Pack. I was about to say tribe, but they're not a tribe. Pack. I thought that was a bit abrupt. And also, I don't know, like, again, maybe this is because we don't know enough about it at this point, but I think it's kind of a shame that that happened so quickly, because I feel like it kind of undermines the wolf system and like the hierarchy and the importance of how that all works, because that's literally the whole point of book 1. So it feels kind of a shame how quickly that just like fell over.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit disappointing. I wish they kind of like stood their ground for a little bit longer before people started trailing off. And I wish we would have seen more of a breakdown amongst the wolves before a whole pack just like up and left.
Yeah.
So that, and like obviously people being able to like, obviously Meryn can overwrite the packs and stuff. And that again just kind of feels like a bit of a cop out of everything we've learned up to this point, that's actually not as strong as it should be. So I think that was a shame, but I did really enjoy the rest of like the political turmoil and finding out about the brother and the dad and everything that was happening, and that in Astriona, is that how you say it? That they obviously have like siphons and humans living together, and there's like way more to the world. I liked that a lot, but I just think there was some parts that I think the wolves were a shame, because I would have loved to see a bit more like beef between the wolves before one whole pack decided to go. It felt a bit quick off the mark for me, but maybe I'm just toxic. Maybe I just like drama. And I would have loved way more drama before they kind of went off on their side quest, but I think...
Speaking of drama, sorry.
No, you go.
Yeah, I don't really know where I was going with. Yeah, speaking of drama, how do you feel about everything that happened in Astrona? Like, did you have any predictions? What do you think Meryn should have done in the situation that they were in?
Please may you remind me of said situation.
So they got invited to Astrona by Lucian.
Yes.
To make an alliance. And then first they have this dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then after the dinner, Harren Stark go outside again. And then the whole thing with Naomi happens, where she tries to stab Lucian. And then the tears and all of that. Like, how do you feel about everything happening there?
I liked it a lot, to be fair.
Because it's drama?
Because it's drama. Like, I just love the drama. And I like that Naomi tried... Is that how you say it? Naomi? I like that she tried to kill Lucian.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I like that she didn't kill him, because that would have, like, killed a lot of plot. But I think it added, like, a complexity to the alliance. And I kind of like that. And I also kind of low-key... I could be very wrong here, but I'm also kind of low-key, like, expecting them to end up together.
Really? I think he's going to end up with Venna.
He could end up with Venna. Maybe he'll end up with all three. Who knows?
No, he's not going to end up with her.
Naomi's lesbian.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Ignore me. He's not going to end up with her.
No.
But I did enjoy that she tried to kill him, because I thought it made it a bit more, like, complex, and it made Meryn's situation difficult, because she's now got a friend that she, like, wants to be supportive of and things, but then she also has to be a good queen and start thinking about what's worth it for the nation. So I think that was good, because it put her in a position where she kind of had to put her queen hat on, rather than just being, like, a bit petulant and whiny. And she actually had to, like, think a bit more about what she was doing. So I thought that was really good. Though, that being said, I feel like Lucian just kind of gave up too easy for me. Like, like, you're still is it Brightsbane or Brightbane? Brightbane? I don't know.
Brightbane.
Like, you're still a Brightbane. Like, you've been in charge for a long time. Like, you're not...
No, Brightbane is a city. No, Brightbane is also Alistaya,
yeah.
Sorry. Because then Clegane of Valteri, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you just handed her over the keys to the kingdom. Like, I wanted him to be a bit more, like, annoying and a bit more chaotic and a bit more resistant.
There should be some leverage.
Yeah,
like,
like...
he takes something of
yeah,
hers,
like, I wanted him to continue to be a bit more slimy, because I think it forces Meryn to make more difficult decisions, which I think she needed to learn how to make. But I really enjoyed the situation that was, like, being built there. I just think it was missing a little bit on the execution / everything did a U-turn too quickly to get like the payoff that I would have hoped for. Like, I wish he was a bit more difficult until maybe like the next book, or maybe until like right at the end of this book, you know?
Yeah.
If he just like appeared, he was on his own side quest and then something happened and then he decided to give her the tears, like something a bit more dramatic than him just giving up all of his leverage.
Speaking of Meryn making difficult decisions, how did you feel about the trials that they face in the tower on the island?
I liked it. I liked the trials. I thought it was a bit of fun. But I like that she sacrificed herself. I do. But I'm toxic. I really am. I want more drama than that. Like, her sacrificing herself didn't like scratch my itch enough, you know? It was a bit too noble for me. But again, like, I am the problem at this point. But I do think it was good, and I think that was a turning point for her where she realised, like, actually, this isn't about me. This is about, like, the best for everyone else. So I'm gonna do this. And I also really liked that was a decision that her and Anasa, like, made together. Like, that felt quite heartwarming to me after everything that they've been through in book 1 and in book 2, that their bond really felt like... I'd say that actually about this book. One thing I did really like is how much arc we have with Anasa and Meryn as a relationship, and then making that decision together at the end in the tower. Like, that was quite heartwarming, but I just wish it was a little bit more dramatic. But that's just me.
What did you think about everyone's reaction?
It was like exactly what I was expecting it to be honest. Okay. Like, obviously Stark's mad at her because he's like, why are you doing that? Like, without consulting everyone and stuff. Like, I get that. So I'm not mad about it. How did you find it? I feel like you have thoughts.
Yeah, I don't like it, but it's alright.
Why didn't you like it?
Oh, it's just all, again, felt so petulant. Like, Venna being like, I can't talk to you right now, and just walking away.
Yeah, to be fair, that was... Venna, yes, that was annoying. Stark, he was kind of annoyed, but it wasn't like that.
I wanted him to be warmer to her. Like, I wanted him to, you know, like, how can I be like, I thought I lost you or something. And he was just... Yeah. Yeah, I did kind of feel bad for her. Like, this girl just killed herself for all of you. Exactly, and everyone is just mad at her. And I'm like, pardon me.
Poor baby. I wonder what Kratos and Anasa, like, what their words were, because Anasa was also in on that.
Yeah.
But... Yeah, I mean, they were all a bit dramatic. I understand a little bit of like, whoa, like, we need to talk about these things. You can't just kill yourself, like, come on.
Like, have some sort of, like, joy that she is actually alive.
Yeah,
instead of just going at her.
Yeah, Venna kind of annoyed me, I can't lie.
Imagine that she actually, then they'd be like, just standing there. Stupid bitch, did you see what she just done?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell anyone? And she's there like...
Oh, God. Okay, no, that's too funny.
How do you think? So we discussed her friends already a little bit. We discussed her relationship with Stark at death. I'm going to script now.
Yeah.
How do you think her relationship with other people evolved? So, for example, with her sister, with Venna, with... How do you say the N word? Nomi.
Because it's like Naomi, but it's the other way around. So it's like Noemi. Anyway, so let's start with the sister. I felt kind of sad for her about what happened with Sailor, but I do think it was good because obviously she's basically lived her whole life for her sister, and I feel like you can kind of feel that in their dynamic, that Sailor feels a little bit like suffocated by it, and like she doesn't want to let Meryn down because of everything that Meryn's done for her. So I think that was like a necessary development between them, though I did kind of feel sad for Meryn. Like, as an older sister, I feel like that would also just like kill me, but I think that was necessary. I think her relationship with Venna, obviously after Isabel's death, things turned a little bit sour between them, which is understandable, but then I also kind of like, Venna kind of did a 180, which I didn't like, because Venna was essentially in on everything, like the whole time in book 1. Like they had her helping them like scope out the castle. Venna was the one that actually discovered like the kids and everything. So then for her to kind of switch up on Meryn and act like Meryn is this like mastermind that has caused all of these problems, as if Venna didn't choose to jump in with all 2 feet like from the start.
Yeah.
That kind of frustrated me, and I think that made me not dislike Venna, but I didn't feel as positively towards her as a character moving like from that point onwards. Then Nomi, I quite liked that friendship, though I do think like this girl was just like spawned in. Like what? I'm hoping book 3 she has like some higher purpose, because she's honestly just spawned in, main character, for what feels like no reason, and she's become really important for no reason other than the fact that her and Stark obviously have a very close relationship. So I do like that friendship, but I just wish I understood a bit more about Nomi's character and like why is she there.
You know what? At the end, when Meryn has this kind of moment where her mind goes a bit fuzzy and she doesn't really know what's going on, what I thought was gonna happen, she says that she takes all the tears and like passes them the necklace, and I thought that it will turn out that
Nomi?
Yeah, this one. That she actually betrayed him and she's actually with Killian.
Yes,
that would
I
be
was
so
hoping
good.
for that. I was so hoping that she was going to betray her.
Yeah.
And that she was actually still like a puppet for her dad.
Yeah.
And stuff like that would have been like...
I even have like shivers when I talk about it. It was so good.
That would have been incredible. And I was also hoping for that, because I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like,
yeah.
She is honestly actually just spawned in, like as if from nowhere. So I was really hoping for that. So that was kind of disappointing. On that, what did you think about Killian's death? Because we've not discussed that at all.
Oh, it was very underwhelming. Because it seems like they did all the song and dance for no reason whatsoever. He actually was more powerful at the moment when they meet him. But like the tears, like all this quest to get tears actually is redundant. It doesn't really matter much.
Yeah.
Because eventually they kill him with a dagger. He just stands there thinking that he won.
Yeah.
And her whole tactic of trying to seduce him, she could have kept him in the castle full of her allies and do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So it just seemed a bit like a goose chase. And then introducing the new villain was a little bit... How do you feel about it? How do you feel about another villain?
I don't like brand new villains being brought in. Like, for example, if Killian was to die at the end of book 2, like, I'm not mad about that. I think he's kind of portrayed as enemy number 1, even though realistically he's not. It's actually Alistair. But I can't remember what I was saying. But anyway, I think because it's a trilogy, Killian dying needs to open up for Alistair, because Alistair, in my opinion, is the main villain of this trilogy. That's what it's been teed up to be. So now we've just got this like additional thing that again there's just spawned as if from nowhere. We now have 2 villains that we now need to get through in another book. But I have no buy-in to this villain. We've spent 2 books with Killian and Alistair, and it's like, oh well, Killian literally just like died just like that. And I'm a bit annoyed because we've had all of this beef and like drama, and his death didn't feel satisfying to me. And what I think maybe would have been better is if we didn't know that Alistair was pulling the strings with Killian. We thought that Killian was evil. Then at the end, Killian gets killed, and it's like, oh shit, we thought Killian was the problem, but it's actually Alistair, and Alistair was using Killian this whole time. Then I think that would have created way more like emotional turmoil as well, because it would have thrown Meryn sideways and been like, oh my god, I've just killed him, and like, you know? And then Alistair is the evil one. Whereas I think this just creates a bit of chaos around like, where am I supposed to be invested? Like, I'm confused. Are we supposed to be mad at Stark? Like, I don't know. Like, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. And, like, again, because it puts Meryn in this position where she sleeps with the enemy again. And it kind of makes me question her judgment on more levels, even though obviously I know it's not her fault and she's put in this position by the author and stuff. But, yeah, it's just that she becomes a very easy target.
Yeah.
And... why, and then the fact that also Stark knew this and never told her, I think that also denied this whole point of them developing this relationship and saying that they are the right reason to do the bad things. And all of that. So I think that really, it kind of breaks my heart for her that she now will have to face this betrayal from him, because obviously it's not his fault that he did what he did at the end, but it's his fault that he didn't say anything, because surely there could have been precautions that they would have taken.
Yeah, agreed. I am glad. I mean, I'm not glad, but I think it adds a bit of a spicy something now, because she's obviously going to hate him in book 3, and now that's going to become a big part of the plot. But then it's also kind of annoying because we've added in that he's betrayed her as such a big part of the plot. Then we also have like whatever's going on with Alistair. Then we have this new villain as well. Like, it just feels like there are too many loose ends going into book 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're spanning off in too many different directions when really we should be
narrowing down.
Yeah.
It feels a bit like, again, like Bloodwing Academy, that there's just this pot opening up all the time. We think it's going to be the key, and there's no key, it's not the pot, actually.
Yeah.
Inside the first pot.
Which is a shame, because they're all actually really good points.
Yeah.
But there are just too many of them happening in too small of a time.
Yeah, they don't link
very
well with
not,
each other.
Not clear enough. Not clear enough, anyway, in my opinion.
Anything you particularly liked that you wouldn't change?
I really liked the dad storyline. I think that was really good. I like the way that the world has been expanded. I wouldn't change that. I think the world has been like built out very well and very clearly, and like the politics between everyone, I would keep that the same. I would keep Stark's betrayal, because I think it's going to be spicy, and I am toxic, so I like the drama.
Yeah.
And I really want her to hate him, because I think that's going to create like a very good book 3. So I think all of those elements for me, like, they need to stay, because they are like the fundamental parts that I enjoyed. Everything else, like the execution around those things, I could do without. But for me, those are the favourites. What are yours?
Well, I do like the betrayal. I think it's gonna add. I mean, I do and I don't. I feel a bit sad for her that again, but at the same time, I feel like I agree it will add some interesting dynamic. I hope that we will get more of Lucian and Nocturna in general, because I feel like that will be good as well, and it would be nice to expand the magic again, because we don't really know much about the wolf magic. Like, it's not used super a lot, to be honest. I like that Venna turned into Siphon as well.
Yes,
and if done well, it can really like make or break this character.
Yeah,
so I'm really hoping for that turmoil and all of that. Yeah, I think those are my favorites. I'm kind of sad that Sigrid died.
Yeah, I wish she didn't die so easily as well.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a shame, because she's supposed to be like, what's the word? The
Sovereign Alpha.
Sovereign. The Sovereign Alpha. So it felt a bit like of a shame that she just went down so easily.
Yeah.
Like, because again, like all of these things that are so symbolic and supposed to mean something just feel like they get...
Blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh... Like, she's supposed to be the most powerful alpha ever, and she died just like that. Like, I think her death would have been very powerful, but maybe just not at that moment. I think we could have done with some sort of redemption between her and Stark, and her death being more like, spoiler alert, Sorengale.
Oh, Lilith.
Lilith and Stella in Zodiac Academy.
Yeah.
Spoilers finished. Those deaths felt like gut-wrenching, because you didn't like them, and then they had this like moment of redemption, and then they died, and it was like so tragic, and it was really tragic for their like children.
Yeah. And
I think that would have been more impactful if we had more time with her to like hate her and then have some sort of moment between her and Stark. So that was kind of a shame. But yeah, again, like all really good stuff, just poor execution.
Yeah,
me.
I'm really sad because everything that happened, where like Isabel dying, I was like, oh my god, great. But there was just no emotion.
Yeah.
It all just came out really flat, and there was just so many good things, and the things that I was like, again, I maybe didn't expect, or they were just good, and I was like, yeah, but...
Yeah. And we're people that need to feel things. Yeah. That's what I need from a book anyway.
I want to cry, and I want to gasp for breath.
Yeah.
And I want, like, my eyes to be red, snot coming out.
Yeah,
agreed. And my fiancé to look at me when I'm curled up in the corner of the sofa being like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I agree. So, wrapping up, what was your ranking on Furybound?
As in my rating? 2.5 stars.
Ouch. That hurt.
But it's also because it just fell from grace.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
It crushed.
Yeah.
I will actually check how much I gave Diabound. I think I gave it a 3.5 or 4.
Yeah,
I was really happy with that.
I would 100% agree. Diabound was better out of the two. I gave Furybound a 3.5, but since having more time to reflect since making my review, I'd probably knock it down to a 3, to be honest, because
I gave it 4.
Yeah, I think I gave Diabound 4, maybe 4.5. But I just think that, as you said, so many good points, but everything just fell flat. And it was like, oh, yes, like this is it. I'm going to start feeling. And then it was like, oh, I should be more upset that these people are dead, but I feel nothing. And it makes me feel a bit psycho. But I know that's not true because I cry at so many other things. So, yeah, it's a shame, really. But you know what? As we have learned with nearly a year of doing these book clubs, you win some, you lose some. We can't have it all.
And also maybe to kind of give some credit to Sable Sorensen and to make sure that the fans of the Furybound are not going to come for us. We had a conversation regarding what could be the cause for all of this, and we decided that it might be that the traditional publishing is a problem because those books start as a passion project and they just have so much good things in them, and then obviously when they get taken by the publisher has to make sure that they sell. Yeah. And that lots of those things might be the reason of that basically they just kind of have to follow certain marketable requirements. Yeah. Which then requires adjusting the plot or certain things within the plot to fit this kind of template. Yeah, like let's say. Yeah. And this is where the story loses its essence, basically. So, so I think this feels like that a little bit. It feels like lots of things were done just to follow. Just to kind of tick. Yeah, just tick the boxes. Tick the box, which is a shame because, but yeah, I also think that some of it's possibly down to like pressure. Obviously, once you've had like an indie published book do so well and everyone loves it and they want the second one and you're like, shit, you weren't even thinking about the second one because you were just trying to make the first one, you know what I mean? And like there's no like guarantee that the second book will happen. So you're obviously just going a bit nuts in the first book, which is really good, but then the second one happens and you're like, oh. Yeah. And then now you've got these opinions and people that weren't there in the first that obviously alter how you write or whatever, throw in other things that you may not have thought about. So yeah, credit where credit is due. Like there are a lot of good things in this book, just execution's not quite there for us. Yeah. So again, we're such a like, you know, how's this word? We're just haters. No. No, like sophisticated readers now. Literary critics, one could say. No more 5 stars all round. No. It's kind of sad, but there you go. Anyway, so to move on, what book are we reading for June? Please, can you share with us? Wait, I have a pretty funny thing to do regarding that. I bet I know what it is. Yeah, probably do. I'm not very subtle, am I? No, but I also think we're just like quite connected, you know, like on that wavelength. Yeah. Wait, let me skip that. Yes. Okay, let's hope you didn't play that for too long that we have to give all of our podcast money to Alex Warren. But joke's on you, Alex, we're actually in negative money. So if you fancy sharing our debt with us, we will gladly share it with you. But if you aren't an Alex Warren fan and you didn't get that really great phone speaker through the podcast, we are reading Fever Dream in June by Elsie Silver. Not by Alex Warren. That will be a very quick read. Yeah. By Elsie Silver, our trusty cowboy romance queen. So yeah, we have a comeback of Emmett. Yes. Emmett? No. Is that his name? No, Emmett is the fucking... no, that's in her own league. Yeah. I feel like his name might be Emmett though as well. Yeah, I think it's E. I think Fever. It could be. Not fever, pain, score. Fever dream. Fever dream symptoms. I think it is Emmett. Yeah. Look at me go. Well done. Emmett Bush and Julia Silva. So yes. We have a comeback of Emmett, whom we met
in Flawless.
Yeah, and Flawless. So
Yes.
he's been there from the beginning, and
Very excited.
Theo's sister from Reckless.
Reckless. Yeah, so we've got a Brothers Rival, which I don't think she's done before, so I'm very excited. And I'm excited for the Theo crumbs
Yeah.
quite a lot. And also we have a very bad boy in this book, I think. He's like the bad boy of the bull riding circuit, isn't he? So I'm quite excited for this like reformed Playboy Brothers Rival situation. So make sure you pick it up and read it with us in June. If you are not on our book club on Fable, like what are you actually doing at this point? We've been doing this for long enough, guys. Like get with the program. We will see you the first week of July. We're actually taking a little break
Sabbatical.
from the podcast until the next book club so that we can, read up and R&R and come back hopefully with some...
And more intros.
Yeah, I need to get brainstorming. That's my homework for the next month, and reading more books. So on that lovely note... Okay, love you, bye!